It's Bob. Welcome back. Well, here we are with the Trommel. Been a long time, I know, but we had to get this house built, and we had to get some fences and water wells drilled, and it really took a big bite out of my time, much more than I anticipated. But whenever you have those big projects, they're always more expensive and more time-consuming than you initially think about. But anyway, we were at Stanton for a couple of days, just doing a little looking around. We're trying to get up to the north part of Antelope Creek, and we went around a few pads. We got the two quads. I changed the sprockets on the quads so that I'd be able to get uphill more. But the path that I had been studying for some time, even it was too much for these. I need four-wheel drive with a shaft drive as opposed to chain. I don't know. There's still another little area. I went to Gold Plaza Lane, I think it's called. It's up on Stagecoach Road, and I had seen a couple of videos where folks had accessed that northern area up by Upper Antelope Creek East and West, and they went through these areas. And I looked on a map for Yavapai County. It looked like it was homesteaded. And I decided the other day, so well, I'm going to go on up there and use those paths to try to get there. And it's I got up past the houses and everything, and then there was a turn that I wanted to make to get to where I wanted to go, and it was closed off with a bunch of barbed wire, and there was a sign on the fence, and I don't know, it was sun faded, but I said, well, it looks like this is a no-go as well. So I turned around and came back, and sure enough, that first house there was a woman waiting there. I won't say old. She looked like she was a little upset that we had gone up there. She said, first of all, let me ask you, are you lost? And so I told her fib, and I said, yes, I'm lost, and even though I knew exactly where I was. And I told her I wanted to get back to Stanton LDMA camp. But anyway, I got that on my GoPro coming back down, not the conversation that we had. A couple of days before that, we took the quads just after we changed the sprockets so that they would be more, not so fast on the highway, but more able to deal with, inclines and the rocks that were on that path. And it's a path that I've been studying for quite some time. We tried to get up there one time with, back when we had the Rocketas. We still have the Rocketta and the Coolster 125. No dice. It was just too bad. We got these Telltale Rhino 250s. We changed the sprockets on them. Tried them, and I wound up popping the chain off. It was just too much, way too much. I didn't get any of that on film. I did, however, get some of the beginning of that path down there, and it was rough enough. But as soon as we get down into the wash, get up over the wash, and then try this little path that goes up the ridge of a large hill, small mountain, whatever you want to call it. But it was just round rocks on top of each other, boom, 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 and the chain started jumping. So I wasn't about to go back into that, but I have another path to check, and this is all has to do with finding a claim someplace that's, I know that it's not easily accessible, but you know, as the expression goes, all the easy gold is gone. So we're back on the Trommel. It's my last day in town, and my objective is to get this clutch handle. I cut it all out. I'm going to start over again. I'm going to elevate the motor. I just had the chain and everything going in the belt drive, so that's all good. I had to grease everything up and retighten and re-clean all the shafts and I had to get some square key for the shaft, and I've got all that. So I'm going to stop right now, and I'll let you know when we get this engine elevated, and then we'll take it from there. See you in a little bit. Okay, just a little update. This is where the engine was, and I had some studs welded in place, and I didn't like that. that system. Whenever I try to pull the engine, I would bend one of the studs. The studs weren't wide enough or thick enough. So I've decided to grind the studs off, clean up with a grinder an area, and put some angle iron here to elevate the engine. This way I can just drill some holes in the angle iron, and I'll be able to put nuts and bolts in there. So let's take it from there. All right, we got pretty much everything spot welded in place. Need to, when Alec gets here this weekend, we're going to get him to clean everything up and make it. I just wanted to get it to where it would run. I have to get the handle here, and then we have to get something to lock this. It's kind of like a clutch. It's going to spin. I'm going to start it right now. We'll see if we can't get you all to see this trommel turn in for the first time. In order to keep it engaged, I've got this what do you call it, ratchet strap tied to the frame. I'm just going to tighten it up and pull this back, and then it'll engage. The concern is it might be a little bit too fast, but hey, it's been too long since we messed with this thing. It's good to see it. It will be good to see it start up and turn for the first time. I wanted to share it with you guys. Well, let's see if we can get that camera situated, and we'll get this thing started and see if it'll turn. Okay, well, we rigged the clutch. There's going to be a handle coming from here, and then we'll find a way to engage it, maybe tighten it, adjust it. For now, though, for the test, because I promised that we would get this thing rolling, and you'd see it on video before I ended my series of videos from this trip home. Tomorrow, I'm flying back to North Dakota. So anyway, I'm using this ratchet strap to kind of hold things in place, and as I mentioned earlier, we had studs going through this, or welded to the metal plate that held the engine in place, but I didn't like that, so I elevated it pretty much like I did with this, because I wanted to get the chain off the frame. I wanted to just be able to put nuts and bolts in there, as opposed to welding a stud in place and getting it all messed up. So we were able to do that, and we elevated this shaft so that we could I don't know, have a lot more adjustment to it. Everything was too close to the engine the way I had it before. So anyway, we got everything in place. We got the chain all greased down. I got pretty much everything with offset screws. The belts are there, and it's ready to start. So let's cross our fingers that it cranks up. On. Is that nice? It's been a long time. I know those of you who followed were disappointed when I stopped posting the videos for it. I don't know, a lot of things happened. like I said, we were on claim 6. Seems like Weaver Mining, I don't know if they lost claim 6 or it's just that it seems like LDMA has claimed over it. And those old boys, I tried to help them out, and I leased that claim for 2 years to see if they can't get it together. I had some bad luck with the Bureau of Land Management. I don't know. I can't really blame them. I could have put a lot more effort into that, but there again, look at the president we had, 2015, 2016. So, well, longer than that. Right now, we're trying to get up in the mountains where it's not so likely that other people will claim over, and it's going to be hard to get material in and out. But we'll see. Right now, I want to get this thing cranking. Alec will come by, and I used a flux core. I used the Harbor Freight flux core welder to just spot all this stuff in place. Alec will come back with a angle grinder and a wire brush, clean it all up, and then lay some nice beads down for MIG. And then once we get that taken care of, I'm leaving for the Dakotas tomorrow for 5 weeks. When I get back, we're going to enclose this, worry about where it concentrates all the pay dirt and the slurry that runs down to the sluice box. We need to get all that taken care of. And then we need to do some plumbing, some simple plumbing. I'm just going to have, we're not going to have a shaker on top just yet. I want to have one eventually. But right now, we're just going to have a bunch of water dumping in up there. And then we'll have your standard pipe coming up here, splashing water. And then we'll have something to catch the rocks and throw them off to the side. But I mean, all things considered, we're a lot closer to being done than we are to when we started, that's for sure. So, a little bit of paint, because I'm not too concerned about that, but I just want to see it move some material. You know, we have the tractor with the backhoe attachment, perfect for feeding this, and we just need to get back into this. Still working 5 on, 2 off in North Dakota. It's hard, but anyway, we're back into this. So we'll see you in 5 weeks and jump back into this. Thanks. Take care.